You know, there's a quiet truth about growing up, about really becoming yourself, that we often feel way before we can ever put words to it. It's not easy, but it's probably one of the most important parts of moving forward in your life.
Yeah, let that one sink in for a second. This might be one of the hardest lessons you ever have to learn. It sounds kind of cold at first, doesn't it? But if you stick with it, you realize it's not about being cooled. It's about finally finding your own way. And let's get something straight right off the bat. When you start to outgrow people, it does not make you arrogant. It doesn't mean you think you're better than anybody else. It just means you're becoming more aware of who you are and what your soul actually needs to keep growing. Think about it. We've all had those friendships, those relationships that were a perfect fit for the person we used to be. They made sense back then, but they were built for that version of you. And they can't always make the trip to the person you're becoming now, and that's okay. This is where you really start to feel it in your bones. That quiet, personal growth happening on the inside, well, it starts to cause a little friction on the outside. Your world begins to feel different because, well, you're different. All of a sudden, you start noticing things you might have just let slide before. You know, a little comment here, a thoughtless action there, it just hits different now. It's not that people changed, it's that you can finally hear it. Disrespect suddenly has a volume you just can't tune out anymore.
And it's the same exact thing with negativity. That complaining that used to just feel like normal venting, now it feels like a 10-pound weight on your chest. You can literally feel it draining your energy and you start getting real protective of your own peace. Oh, and this is a big one. Those conversations that just go in circles about the same old problems, the same old limits, they start to feel completely suffocating, like the room is getting smaller. And that feeling, it's not a judgment on them. It's just a sign that your own mind is expanding and it needs more room to breathe.
And here's the absolute key to all of this. That uncomfortable feeling you get around certain people, it's not hate, not at all. Think of it more like a compass. It's your own gut telling you, hey, you've evolved. Your energy has shifted. It's a signpost, not an attack. Now, let's be real for a minute. This part hurts. It can feel incredibly lonely. You're losing the easy chats, the inside jokes, that shared history that felt like solid ground. And that is a real loss. You have every right to be sad about that. Just because you have history with someone doesn't mean they're guaranteed a spot in your destiny. Some people are just meant to be chapters in your story. Maybe even really important, beautiful chapters. But they aren't the whole book. And your story demands that you keep turning the page. So, what do you actually do? Letting go doesn't have to be some huge, dramatic fight. In fact, it rarely is. More often, it's a quiet thing. It's the simple art of creating just enough distance to protect that new thing that's starting to grow inside of you.
It's usually way simpler than we think. It might just mean less access. You're just not as available as you used to be. Then, maybe it's less explanation. You stop feeling like you have to justify your choices to everyone. And finally, it's less emotional investment. You just consciously decide to stop pouring your energy into things that drain you.
What this all boils down to is boundaries. And we get this so wrong so often. A boundary is not a wall you build to punish somebody. It is not cruelty. It's just clarity. It's you calmly and clearly defining what's okay for you and what's not. That's it.
Look, here's the bottom line. If someone can only connect with the old you, the one who played small to fit in, then of course they're going to feel weird when you start to grow. But your job is not to shrink yourself back down just to make them feel comfortable.
Their comfort is their business. Your responsibility is to yourself, to the person you are working so hard to become. Your one job is to get aligned with your own truth, your own values, and your own path. Period.
And so here we are, right back where we started. That feeling of loss, it isn't just an ending. It's also a beginning. It's nature clearing out space, making room for the people who actually get you, who vibe with where you are now, and who are genuinely excited to see where you're headed next.
So remember this. Your growth is going to require you to be a little selective with your time, with your energy, with who you let into your circle. And that is more than okay. It is absolutely necessary. So the next time you feel that little pang of a friendship fading away, try to flip the script. Don't just focus on who you're losing. Ask yourself a new question. Who is waiting in the space you're so bravely creating?